This is Skip Unleashed, brought to you by Underdog. Speaking of Underdog, maybe you caught our heated discussion about Micah Parsons on Arena Gridiron. Our heated discussion about what letter grade Micah Parsons deserved for Monday night's performance against the Philadelphia Eagles. Every discussion we have on Arena Gridiron gets extremely heated when it comes to Micah Parsons. So in the heat of the fire of that discussion, the crossfire, I badly wanted to use a line that I thought I couldn't get away with because I was afraid I would get laughed out of the arena if I reached for it about Micah Parsons. But I'm going to use it with you right here, right now. Forgive me for the literary reference. I mean, I can't help it. I was an English major at Vanderbilt. Sue me. Ban me from the arena. I didn't have the guts to use it in the barbershop that we turn that studio into every day. But every time I watch Micah Parsons play, I always think of a line that William Shakespeare used in Macbeth. This is Shakespeare in the play Macbeth. Full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. I'm going to say it again. Micah Parsons, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. I will be proven right about this. Micah Parsons will go down as the most overhyped and ultimately overrated player ever on the defensive side of the football. As you well know, he is now by far the highest paid annually non-quarterback in the history of professional football, thanks to the Green Bay Packers. But I had no problem with Jerry Jones trading him. I think Jerry will be proven right in the long haul. Speaking of the haul that he got back for Micah Parsons, which he has now turned into Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark, and still more to go with another first-round pick to be used. Jerry and I will be proven right to have cut bait, cut ties with Micah Parsons. No player over a long haul has ever disappointed me more, frustrated me more, tormented me more than me having to watch a Micah that I all but put in the Pro Football Hall of Fame as a rookie. I dared to place him at least in the early conversation with a young Lawrence Taylor. He was 11 from heaven. He was my Micah. We even did a music video thanks to the great DJ Steve Porter. And it was an all-timer right up there with the Tebow video. You might remember, All He Does Is Win. My Micah, 11 from heaven. And I saw bursts and flashes of Lawrence Taylor when Micah was a rookie. And then the league caught up with him, figured out he's not a physical football player. He has no use for trying to stop the run. It's all speed and quickness and finesse. He's not a natural-born killer. He's not what you would call an NFL warrior. You can run at him successfully and run him out of play after play after play. When Jerry traded him, he sat right in front of the media and said, the main reason we traded Micah Parsons was because he was a liability against the run. So what did we see on Monday night? Here we went again. First play of the game. Saquon, kaboom, off left tackle, right past Micah Parsons, who didn't even wave at him. Micah all but backpedals when the ball is run in his direction. He backpedals like a DB. What did we see or not see on Monday night from Micah freaking Parsons? We saw one solo tackle late in the game when he got away with tripping Saquon Barkley. He tripped him to tackle him. That's his one solo tackle for the game. Once again, he had goose eggs, 0 sacks, and 0 quarterback hits. He was given 3 pressures. It's the most subjective stat in sports. I don't get it. It seems like some games Micah gets 17 pressures because every time he lines up and just waves across the line of scrimmage at the quarterback, he gets a pressure. But he was given only 3 in a Monday night game against the defending champs at historic Lambeau Field. 0 sacks, 0 quarterback hits, and only 3 pressures. I say it again and again. For such a great player, such a quote-unquote game wrecker, Micah very infrequently even gets his hands on the quarterback. His quarterback hits are shockingly, scarily low. He doesn't touch the quarterback often, and all too rarely he gets the quarterback actually on the ground, let alone knocks him down. He's a finesse football player. I've argued this on Arena Gridiron for weeks on end. Gerald McCoy fought me on this when I dared to say Micah is not a natural-born killer. Gerald laughed at me 3 weeks ago, and then on Monday night after the game, he got the all-22 tape, the defensive snaps, and watched carefully, he said, Micah Parsons play. He saw Micah doubled only twice all game. So Green Bay said, hell with that. He's not worth a double team. Remember, he joined a really loaded defense, especially a defensive front. They do have Rashawn Gary. And they do have Wyatt, and Van Ness is hurt, but they have had him. And Edgerrin Cooper is really good rushing the passer from the linebacker slot. And yet the Eagles are like, nah. But we'll run over there. We'll run at him because you can always run at Micah unless he trips you. And what killed me even more, as I get on to Gerald's deeper points, is that I twice saw Micah stand up and wave out of the game. Sometimes what he does best is chase the quarterback because he can really run. If the quarterback bolts the pocket right or left and Micah sort of gets a running start, he'll chase him. He caught Jared Goff. He barely caught Dak from behind. It wasn't a sack because Dak fell across the line of scrimmage. Should have been a 1-yard gain. But is that worth the most money ever paid to a non-quarterback? I mean, come on, seriously? That's all you got is chase downs? It's like LeBron's famous or infamous block, Game 7 at Oracle. It's an ambush block. It's a blindside block. It's a chase down block. That one of Iguodala, who got cut off at the pass by J.R. Smith cutting underneath him, and as Iggy was going to go up and dunk it, if he'd gone up to dunk it, LeBron would have just had to foul him. But instead, he had to hesitate because J.R. Smith cut right across his path. And he got into a little bit of an awkward rhythm of, I guess I better just lay this up off the glass. And LeBron, to his credit, didn't give up on the play. And here he comes, 100 miles an hour, 6'9", 260, kaboom. Greatest block ever, baloney. Cheapest block ever. These are the cheapest sacks ever when Jared Goff gets run down from behind by Micah Parsons. Come on, man. I know he had 3 sacks at Arizona of the highly immobile Jacoby Brissett. I give you that. But this was Monday Night Football, big stage, best opponent. And this is a no-show game for me. And Gerald said, what I saw often was, if he gets a step and they are dropping back to throw, he'll go as hard as he can go. But half the time, if he sees he's not really going to be in the play or get to the quarterback who might be rolling right or whatever, that he quits on plays. He gives up on a lot of plays. Said Gerald McCoy, who's, what was he, a former 5-time Pro Bowl defensive tackle, high first-round pick. He knows what he's talking about. And so I point blank asked Gerald McCoy, sitting next to him on Arena Gridiron, is Micah a physical football player? And he said, no, he's not. I've been saying it from the start. I know him because I've watched him so painfully closely. He's full of sound and fury, signifying very little. There's a lot of sound and a lot of fury. And he runs past the quarterback, and the quarterback steps up and completes the 17-yard pass. I've seen it. I've lived it. I've swallowed it whole. I keep saying 1 sack in 4 Cowboy playoff games, and it came late in a blowout of the 8 and 9 Bucks, featuring 45-year-old Tom Brady playing his very last NFL game. You got Tom Brady on the ground late, and it was 31-14 Dallas. That's all you gave me in 4 playoff games, one of which was against your new team, the Green Bay Packers, who had you down, Micah, 27-0 before halftime, and I could not find you in the football game. You ghosted me in the football game. I looked at the stats at the end of the football game. You ended up losing 48 to whatever it was, 24. Dak went garbage yards in the fourth quarter. And I looked for Micah Parsons in the stats, and I saw goose egg, zeros across the board, didn't register in the sacks. He is the ultimate Las Vegas disappearing act. People would pay to watch Micah disappear. That's how good he is at disappearing when you need him most. He could sell out disappearing on stage in Las Vegas night after night after night, because that's what he did for my Cowboys, and that ultimately is what he will do for the Green Bay Packers. Remember that first game at Lambeau? Game number 1 against the Detroit Lions and Jared Goff. It was Micah Day. He was the last one out, introduced. The place went crazy because they thought they had a combination, Reggie White, Lawrence Taylor, and Charles Haley. And for that one day, at least in their mind's eye, he was that. The whole team rose for Micah Parsons. But he's not a natural-born leader. He's a solo act. His mere presence ignited an opening day win that was staggeringly convincing. They looked like they were off and running toward a Super Bowl championship. And then before you knew it, they'd lost at Cleveland. Micah's not a leader. He's not a difference maker. He's not a locker room culture changer. He doesn't do that. Jerry always talked to him, we need you to be more of a leader. Well, you can't just say, okay, I'll be a leader. It's natural born. You either are or you're not. Intangibles low with Micah Parsons. Supreme quickness, supreme speed for his size and his position. But come on, man. Where is the productivity? How often does he get his hands on the quarterback? I saw him wreck maybe 2 games as a rookie. One I remember on was it a Thursday night at New Orleans? He just wrecked that game. Taysom Hill was playing quarterback. Do you remember that? He wrecked a game against Washington. What was the little kid's name who was playing quarterback? Tyler, whatever his name was. You know, that's what he can do. When he has the decided advantage, you better look out. But against Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles, yeah, look out below, because he will disappear quickly on you. Coach Gruden was on today, Jay Gruden, on Arena Gridiron, and made the point, well, Micah's a little lighter, and so obviously they're going to take him out occasionally if it's 3 tight end formation. Obviously, an obvious running down, running play. And I asked Coach, Did Lawrence Taylor ever come out for 3 tight ends? Did Charles Haley ever come out for 3? No, 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 no. What are we talking about? A specialist, a pass rush specialist who is going to cripple Green Bay's salary cap? Just cripple it. It's way, way, way too much money for a luxury player, the icing on a defensive cake. Jay Gruden made the case he can be a closer for you if you got a lead and you need somebody to rush the passer, and those don't grow on trees. I got you. Aqib Talib made the point he's most valuable on Wednesday because he makes teams prepare for him. You have to honor him. You have to acknowledge him. You have to game plan for Micah Parsons. I don't think the Eagles game plan for him, but they are the Eagles, and they are the best. So Jay Gruden gave him an A for the game. Well, they lost. Maybe if they'd won 10-7, I could barely see it, but they lost. And Aqib fights me, fighting for Micah Parsons, thinks I'm way too hard, that I got hate in my heart for Micah. No, I'm just telling the truth. The truth is, Aqib gave him an A-, and you can't justify it. He played 53 of 63 defensive snaps, and a number of his teammates played all 63. I'm sorry, I don't get it. You're making that much money and you wave out some plays. At one point, Gerald said he counted 6 straight plays that he missed. You just can't. Full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. As it gets colder and colder in Green Bay, you'll see less and less of Micah, because that's always what happened in Dallas. He faded down the stretch. Not physical, so he gets worn down and ultimately worn out by defensive tackles who just blot him out, just suffocate him. They're just too big and physical for him. And if he does get chip blocked, it just takes a little more and a little more and a little more out of him, and he wears down. Can't be trusted down the stretch. Never there in a playoff game. I'm sorry. I will be right about this. I dig in. I'm throwing dirt on the grave in Dallas of Micah Parsons because I don't miss him one bit. Shakespeare must have had Micah in mind when he was writing Macbeth, the tragedy that was Macbeth. Full of sound, fury, signifying nothing.